Welcome to the Resilient AF podcast. I'm Alex Fresh.
And I'm BennettKnows. We believe everything vibrates at a certain frequency, and we're here to raise the vibration.
You'll hear stories of resilience, manifestation, and what to do when you find that even resilience has a toll.
Because a bitch is tired, honey.
I have these big ass nails on. I can't do shit. These are like...
And they're not even big. You're acting like you got Cardi B nails.
They're big for me. I'm a tomboy, so they're big for me.
Are you having a hard time?
I am.
Do you want me to help you?
No, I got it just now.
Yeah, you would not last with Cardi B nails.
Fuck
at
no.
all.
Who wants Cardi B nails?
I mean, I would if I could.
The fuck? Oh my god, no.
It just makes doing things so much more fun.
Whew, I don't like the struggle.
Everything except wiping your ass.
They say just fold it. You know the toilet paper?
Yeah.
It's the...
Oh, you wrap your long. Ew, no.
Yeah, they just wrap the toilet paper around their two fingers and then. But anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Yes, welcome.
Monday morning.
Back. Good morning.
We are here, and you want to start off with your peak and pits?
We're just jumping right into it. My peak this week was definitely our social media. You know, our social media is popping. We've been putting in a lot of work. I really enjoyed that video that you put together of everyone's resilient explanation or meeting.
That was a lot of fun to make too.
It came out beautiful, and I sent it to a couple of people, and they were like, yeah, I really needed that today. So just seeing the page and like the relaunch and all of that is definitely the peak of my week. My pit. Yo, my phone, I didn't have service for like 10 hours this week.
Why?
I guess there was like a service outage in my area. So like I did not have a phone for 10 hours.
Wait, are you with Verizon?
I am with Verizon.
That's
been with
bullshit.
Verizon for 10 years.
Damn. Well, I've been with T-Mobile for like 20. But you got on that. I don't ever have outages.
Oh, wow. You know, I used to have T-Mobile, but I didn't like it because...
How long ago? 10 years ago?
10 years ago,
yeah, they're totally different. Because I worked there for 10 years.
So new company, new service, new everything.
Yeah. No, they're leading the industry, I feel like.
I was so mad because I'm like, I can't call Verizon now because like... my phone's not working, so I'm literally on the computer doing like the chat and going back and forth. And
wait, but what about Wi-Fi calling?
I didn't try it.
Oh.
I didn't turn it on, but I need my phone when I don't have Wi-Fi too, you know?
For sure, but to call them though.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
So I'm going back and forth on the computer with them, and he's like, take the SIM card out, put the SIM card back in, take it out. It was just like so much. I was on the computer with him for 2.5 hours.
Oh, hell no. What the?
Yeah.
And you don't know what ended up happening?
They said there was a service outage in my area.
Oh, wow.
And I was at the gym. I felt like being like, anyone got Verizon? Like, is your phone on? But I was too scared, so.
Yeah.
So I didn't. But yeah, 10 hours later, my service turned back on. And
I know why, because Mercury's in retrograde.
Oh.
I just thought of it. That's why Verizon was down. That's why Mercury is retrograde.
Yo, and this week has been insane.
And because of the eclipse.
That's coming up.
It's the eclipse season. No, there was already one on the 25th.
Oh, shit.
There's another one coming up, like a big one.
I read something that I'm going to become a big bitch during this time.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Don't fuck with me.
You know, it's crazy. Like, I felt the last retrograde in Mercury retrograde bad. This time, it's like not so bad for me.
Oh,
I love that for me.
you.
Yeah.
No service. What's next?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, like the technology and communication during Mercury retrograde is really bad. So, for instance, like a couple years back, we were traveling to this remote area in Utah, and when we got there, like I didn't have any T-Mobile service, and it was weird because we had been there before and I had T-Mobile service there, so I was like, what the hell, that's weird, like maybe they moved a tower or something, I don't know. But come to find out, I had changed my rate plan a few weeks before that, but it wasn't going into effect until it changed the rate plan, and what the person did, whoever I talked to, like just canceled it out. They were like, it just canceled. So my entire plan that I've had for a very long time just canceled, and I didn't know until we got back to like Vegas was where we drove to that had service. I went to a store and they're like, the account's canceled. Like that was during
Basically,
Mercury retrograde.
You have a phone, but no service.
Yeah. So instead of it just changing the rate plan, it just canceled my whole account.
Wow.
So that's what Mercury retrograde does.
Yeah. You're not supposed to make like any hard decisions.
You're not supposed to sign
documents.
No contracts. Yeah. And I'm about to sign my divorce, going into peaks and pits. Yes, that is my pit because I'm still married. But I do want to say another pit is I was supposed to be in Colombia this week and I'm really bummed about it.
Oh my gosh, why aren't you there?
Because of my pitch, trying to get shit, taken care of.
Priorities.
So there's always next time. But my friends are in Colombia right now. So yeah, and then that's my pit. My peak is...
Your date.
What date?
Girl, you know you went on a date. Spill the tea.
What? No.
Spill the tea.
I can't.
I'm over here like accidentally spilling all the tea about my life. Like, how was your date?
He's fun.
Fun. with a capital F. You know what else starts with the F?
Fuck.
Friends. Where's your head at? Come on.
Yeah, we're friends. My dating life though is pretty non-existent because like I really just like being single, and I'm still married and I'm not divorced yet, but I'm thinking about like when I am
like
divorced.
So weird.
And I think about like when I find somebody, I'm like, I'm not gonna like that because I really like when I'm by myself so much.
Like you're getting used to being by yourself.
I'm used to it.
But you know, there's always those moments where you're like, I wish I had someone to cuddle up with and like.
Yeah, but it's gonna have to be someone who has a lot going on so they don't have to like freaking
be all up on you.
Yeah, and expect me to be like hanging out with them all the time. And I thought about it like recently, how much I enjoy just even when my son is at his dad's, like just having my days where I'm just by myself working by myself all day.
No kids, no problem.
It's the best.
I know. Right. Thank you.
All right.
So that was your peak?
Yeah, and my pit was that I'm still married and I'm not in Colombia.
Okay. Well, that's a pit for sure.
Yeah.
Next time.
There will be a next time.
There's always a next time.
And next is Ask Alex.
Woo! When on the dating apps, whatever one you're dating, Tinder, Plenty of Fish, Grindr for the gays. No. What makes you instantly swipe right? Say yes.
Okay, so swipe right is a no.
Swipe right is a yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You just said that. I'm a stoner. I'm not on dating apps. The only dating app that I have it on that I like that's decent is Cheese Spa. And Cheese Spa is just like Hispanic.
Cheese Spa.
Yes. What would make me instantly swipe left or right?
What makes you instantly swipe right and say, yes, I want to date this person?
Instantly swipe right.
Instantly.
Okay. If you're a Habibi.
Habibi.
If you have a lot of tattoos.
Define what a Habibi is, because...
Tall, dark, handsome, dark features.
Is it usually like Middle Eastern then? Okay.
Tall, dark, and handsome with tattoos. Light eyes would be amazing.
Okay. Well, thanks. What's a swipe left? Automatic no.
A cowboy hat. Or when they're flipping off the camera when they're smoking. When the first picture is not a picture of them, or it's of two people and you can't figure out who it is. Left.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to like prank us?
They just don't want to show their face.
Exactly. So they're like, let me throw my other friend.
And it's just like,
here.
why does it always turn out to be like the one that's not cute? It's just like, fuck.
You know what? We're going to swipe left on both of those.
Yeah. Bennett, what would be your instant swipe right?
Instant swipe right is based off of looks. Kind of shallow, but like...
Well, that's what it is.
If it's muscles, light eyes, tattoos, it's always the tattoos for me. If you got the sleeves... automatic swipe right. I don't care.
What?
Or,
no,
yes.
It's not an automatic, but it's like
it's
a big
automatic.
Game changer.
It's a big game changer. We love that. When it comes to the profile, automatic swipe right is they just have jokes, you know? They'll say something funny or something that's not age, sex, location.
Not doing too much.
Not doing too much. When it's like funny and intriguing and it's like kind of witty, it's like, okay, I have to hit you up and see like what this is about. So those are automatic swipe rights. Automatic swipe lefts is anybody taking pictures with cats. We don't like that.
Oh
no,
my
just
God.
like
You don't want to be a cat dad?
No, don't want to be a cat dad. Don't want to like die when I go to your house. So no cat. Let's see what's like an automatic no. I mean, I take mirror pics, you take mirror pics, but like if it's like a nasty mirror pic, you know, like the mirror is dirty.
Ew, yeah.
You could see like the toothpaste and toothbrush and all of that. And
they just look dirty and they have bad breath or something.
Yeah, like instead of
Bad
taking
hygiene.
pictures in the bathroom, you should take a shower in the bathroom.
How embarrassing. I didn't know we were going into the bios either. I have a bio one.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely bios. We're talking about the dating app.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I don't date app.
You know, date app.
I don't dating app, okay? But if we're going in the bios, immediate no would be a Virgo.
Oh, down.
Don't hate me. We can be friends. That's about it. So if you're a Virgo, sorry to crush your dreams.
Yeah.
Friends with benefits only if you're a Habibi.
Friends with benefits is tough. I know we're going into a different lane, but like friends with benefits is always hard for me because once I fuck someone, I'm in love.
I'm not.
We're totally opposite. Like,
We are.
I am in love. Like you could give me a hug and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love you.
Okay. Do you think that I could actually have a guy friend who's straight, who doesn't want to fuck?
I think so. I know that's been like the end all be all question. I think it's possible. Like, let's say you guys aren't attractive to each other. So you guys are just best friends, but you're not each other's type. The connection would be there and the attraction wouldn't.
Yeah,
but
and-
then also, you know what they say, like when you're clicking and connecting, that's when people become like more attractive.
That's why I'm asking the question, because I'm like, there's been dudes who have been my friend for a long time who, when I first got OnlyFans, was like, hey, if you need anybody. Like after it happened for like the third time, I'm like, do all of my dude friends want to fuck?
Probably.
That's annoying.
But
I
I
want to
feel-
actually have a best guy friend who's straight, who doesn't want to fuck. That would be nice.
But I feel like guys like to fuck, so they'll just
I like to fuck, but I don't want to fuck them. Why
guys
do
will have sex with anyone, I feel like.
Find me on OnlyFans.
Are you gonna do a scene?
I want to. I don't want to like do it by myself anymore. I'm bored. But I'm very picky. So if you're like a hot habibi, what? Why are you looking at me crooked?
I'm not looking at you crooked. I'm excited.
Then hit me up.
So you would do it, a full scene?
Yes.
Wow.
What? Yes. I want to make money.
Okay. Wow.
I'm bored.
Our podcast just turned into a casting call.
We're on the couch.
Make sure you hit us up on Instagram at ResilientAF3 and hit us up with any Ask Alex questions that you have. If you want us to answer anything, just
There's
at
been
the
good
top
ones
of your
that have
mind.
come in. Okay.
Yeah, so hit us up. Fill us up with that juice.
Anyways, let's intro the resilient guest. So this is Branden. He's one of my friends, and he's going to share stories about, times in his life, like abuse and some relationships with his parents and other individuals and addiction and where he's at today. So welcome to the podcast, Branden. Thank you for being here.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And you're a pro. Like, you're just so entertaining as it is. Like, just love you so much. He has done some of my tattoos, and literally the things that comes out of his mouth are wild. Like,
foul,
wild,
obnoxious.
I mean, you're in a great place. You're in a safe place.
Yeah.
So I'll let you kick it off and start where you want.
Gosh, where should we start? I guess I grew up, just to touch base on like the background. I guess I grew up super poor.
Where'd you grow up?
Vancouver, Washington, and then to La Center, Richfield area, which is a super small hick town. Grew up very country and grew up, like I said, super poor. Probably in my elementary school, I probably went to 8 or 9 different schools in elementary. We constantly were living in a place for, a few months. My mom couldn't pay it, and then we get evicted, moved to the next place. And
so how was that moving schools? Did you care?
Horrible. No, I hated it. I mean, I was already short and fat to begin with. And so I got made fun of everywhere I went. And so I had to find like humor in like misery.
They say the funniest people have so much trauma.
And so that's why I'm, I guess the way I am is because that's how it started, And then as I got older, I learned my dad wanted me to learn how to fight and stuff, and so he taught me how to fight because I kept getting picked on. He got tired of me getting beat up, so my dad was into jiu-jitsu and all that stuff, and so my brothers were wrestlers, and so I didn't like to wrestle. It wasn't my thing. I was into snowboarding and smoking weed, and so I didn't want to do any of that shit. But every time I got in trouble, my dad would make me wrestle my brothers and stuff like that.
How many brothers do you have? And are they older or younger?
So we have a weird family. I mean, this is a whole nother topic in itself, but on my mom's side, she has four kids, including me, with 4 different dads.
Oh, damn.
And then on my dad's side, he has me and my sister as blood. And then he also has my other 2 brothers that he adopted from a previous marriage. One's older, and then one's a year younger than me. And then he also, through his new marriage, has like 2 more kids as well that are through marriage.
Wow, so, I already lost count.
Yeah.
So do you talk to most of your siblings? Or?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
We all kind of moved away. I think just because of our family and stuff, it's just, I don't know, like more traumatic. Like we all just kind of did our own thing. Like we all just flew the coop. So yeah, basically I moved from school to school to school. And was constantly lived on welfare. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember I was 4th grade or 3rd grade stealing from the mall and getting caught just because I needed stuff or wanted stuff.
Okay. So when you got caught, what happened?
They pulled me into the back room at the mall, and then some police came and they called my mom, and that was basically it.
Your mom came and got you?
Yeah, they banned me from the mall for like till I was like 18.
Did your mom care?
Yeah, she was very upset. I mean, everything with her was a traumatic incident. Like nothing was subtle. Nothing was like, did you learn from this? It was always like, you're moving to your fucking dad's house. Like it was just,
okay.
I mean, top tier climax every time. Like,
it didn't matter what you were doing. If it was like something minor or something huge, it was just like, you're going to your dad's house. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, always. I mean, she would fake phone calls all the time. And I remember just being a little kid, like pulling my hair out, crying. I don't want to go to and why I didn't want to go to my dad's house is beyond me, because he was stable and he had a wife, and like they went to church every Wednesdays and Sundays, and like she was a nurse, he was a logger. Like it was the whole like perfect little family. But for some reason I just, I was a mama's boy. I just didn't want to disappoint my mom.
But also you were probably comfortable with your mom,
exactly.
like that's what your situation was. So
But making fake phone calls, like, that's traumatic.
That's so traumatic.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I remember just like pulling my hair out as a kid. It's probably why I'm bald today, but no.
That
I
is
would
so
just
sad.
pull my hair out and scream, no, please. And she'd just be like, Craig, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm done with him. And it would just like.
And then what would happen?
She never even made a phone call. It was all fake. But
Every time, like, that is so sad.
yeah, because she got child support from my dad, so like she didn't want me to go.
So were you with her until you turned 18?
I was.
Okay.
And I was a big, so I mean, it's not a bash my mom fest. Like, I love my mom. She's my mother. She birthed me. But I mean, we had a hard life, and I truly feel like her was self-induced on her part, They're never happy, always wanting something more. I mean, she's 50 years old, I think, and single still, and she wants to find love, but she doesn't want to change. People don't want to change.
Yep. It's
always somebody else. It's never their fault. It's always somebody else's fault. And that's how I grew up,
Especially at that age, it's hard for people to change. I feel like once
Totally.
you get older, you're like locked into your habits and the way you cope with things.
And a lot of people don't understand that they even have reactions or triggers because of trauma from their childhood or from other things that have happened in their adult life that they need to handle and like seek therapy for, their nervous system healing. Well, how old are you now?
38.
38.
Old man.
So
yeah, basically growing up the way I did, moving all the time, always having low income clothes. I mean, I remember we would go to a Kmart, if you remember Kmart back in the day. That was like our buckle or Abercrombie for these kids. And we go to a Kmart and we'd get to pick out our school clothes before the school year started. My mom would put them on layaway, and I was just so excited to finally have like some cool clothes just to find out that we couldn't afford to get those, So we'd go garage sale. We have to go to garage sales and get clothes. And like I said, I'm barely 5'4" now. I'm super short. So I was always short. So getting clothes that fit me lengthwise, that weren't dragging on the ground. I was just always like that scummy kid and it's never confident about anything. And I remember just being like just young, and from what my mom went through with all these guys already, just the oldest in my mom's side, I was just constantly looking for that girl. Like I wanted to find love. Like as soon as I was in elementary school, I'm like, I just want to find love. I want to find somebody I could take care of because that's what my mom wants, And so I remember just my whole school career was just trying to find that girl, that one person that can like make me happy and I can make them happy. And, that's kind of steers off into relationships. But I mean, having to hustle, I would finally, as we got, getting older, my mom met a guy who had some money, moved into his house and stuff. And I remember we didn't get free lunches anymore. I had to get school or pay for school lunches. So he would give me like $2.25 every day or whatever in middle school. And I saved that money every day.
Wait,
save that.
So what did you not eat?
No, I would snack off friends' food and stuff like that, or just not eat. Like
so you could save the $2.25.
Save it, and then I would make a deal with one of my buddies in PE who had some like size 9 Adidas shell tops that were white, and I was like a size 6.5 or 7 probably. And I was like, let's make a deal on these. And he, $10 or $20, save my money. I bought them. I go home, stuff newspaper in the tip of the shoe so they fit me. I took Dollar Tree had the white shoe polish, so I bought white shoe polish and painted them all white. Just always hustling, to do that. Just to survive, or just to not feel like, you look like you fit in, I guess,
right.
Anything to fit in. And that was my whole life until I got a job when I was 16. And once I got a job, that's when I started losing weight because I had
Where did you get a job?
I got a job at Pioneer Feed. It was for feed store for horses, cows, livestock animals.
Country.
So, but it's just been like growing up in general has just been traumatic. I mean, the fights that, my mom had my youngest brother when she was like in her late 30s. And I remember she didn't want any more kids, but my stepdad did. He didn't have any kids. And as the oldest, I mean, I was waking up in the middle of the night. She was, my mom's freaking out about this kid. He was colicky. And I was the one that was rocking him to sleep, helping nurse him, feed him with the bottle and all that stuff. Like I was that support person for my mom. But yeah, so I guess as growing up into that, during that time, and then my dad was going through a divorce on the flip side, and my stepmom turned into a meth addict. And so I had to find my way through this too. My brother still lived at my dad's house, and my dad moved out into a trailer. we would just have, I didn't want to go to my dad's house because I wanted to hang out with my brothers, you know? So I would, summer times, every weekend, I would go to my dad's house and just be with my brothers while my stepmom was strung out on meth and gone for days at a time. So it was literally my older brother, who was like 18 at the time, 17. And me and my little brother there just running amok, being skaters, running around towns.
So where was your dad?
He turned into an alcoholic. He was working all the time. Like my dad, he goes into like a different mode, like trauma for him. He just ignores everything and he puts his head down and he works. And that's all he knows how to do is work.
And he didn't care that his wife turned into a meth head?
Oh, 100%. I mean, they tried to make it work for years through all this. And it's so much. But I mean, when that drug takes over, like it's kind of inevitable.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like a long time to stay with someone on meth. I mean, I'm thinking about like if I was in like a likewise situation, meth, it's insane.
So that's the thing, that they split up, you know, they were splitting up, going through divorce. So he moved out. And so it was just this house, and it was like the meth house. Like people would just come here, hang out. I remember playing cards at like 4 a.m. with these meth heads with my brother, gambling a couple dollars that we had and stuff like that. Have you ever done meth? Yes. Okay. I did not know. I snorted it. Oh my gosh,
I hear this story all the time. People that
thought it was cocaine.
Yeah.
Or I was told it was.
So what was that like?
Burning.
What was the reaction?
You snorted it.
Yeah.
Don't they smoke? You smoke meth.
He thought it was coke.
Oh my gosh.
I asked somebody having the coke, and he's like, yeah, I got something. And then I railed it. My eyes just started watering. And it's like this frontal lobe burn of like.
So what was your reaction to your body? Like, what was the high?
It's the same thing as cocaine, just better.
Oh, interesting.
That's just snorting it. Like I never smoked it or injected it or anything, so I don't know that. Like,
okay.
But yeah.
Don't ask a meth head for drugs. That's 99% meth.
Yes.
Now you have to worry about fentanyl.
Yeah.
Just don't do coke. Just don't do drugs, guys. Okay. Yeah. Just do mushrooms.
It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
I always say, be careful with your drugs.
Yeah. Yes, that's.
Don't ask a meth head for drugs.
Yes, facts.
So yeah, it sounded like you grew up in chaos. Like there was just so much going on. When did you like leave your dad's house? AKA, is that you called it the meth house?
So it was.
Or was it your dad's girlfriend's house?
It was my dad's wife's house, and I never lived there. It was like a summer thing or a weekend gig type thing. But eventually they ended up selling the house, getting a divorce, all that stuff. And I've always stayed with my mom. And then I had a high school sweetheart for 6 years, and then right after that. I fell right into, and I lived at my mom's house till I was like 22, I want to say 21. I moved out for like 8 months and I was like, fuck this shit. This is too much money. We're moving back in.
Yeah.
And so I moved back in, but then, I met my ex-wife, and when that happened, she had a child that was, a baby. And so I had to get my shit together. And I was like, so we were forced to move out, forced to move into an apartment that I really couldn't afford. I guess that's what leads us into emotional abuse, I guess. We would say. So yeah, I met her. She was married. She had a child. They were going through a divorce. I knew the husband as well. He was in the military. She flew out to East Coast numerous times to divorce the guy and leave him while we're living in an apartment together.
Multiple times.
So
she would always come back.
Yes. And I'm like, so you guys divorced? Are you guys getting divorced? Yes, he knows. He knows we're breaking up. He knows. It was always like, I'm the bad guy for asking, like, it's not my business, And so we're literally living in an apartment together. This guy's mom's coming to our house. And
whose mom?
The ex or the husband at the time.
Her husband's
mom would come over.
Is coming to y'all house.
Because of the grandchild, right?
Because the grandchild. And I knew them. I've known them from like partying here and there. Like the parents would always be like, yeah, you guys can party at our house. So like we all did. And I knew my ex-wife from high school. So once we're together, like I'm thinking like we're moving in a forward direction, and one day I get a knock on the door and it's her ex-husband. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? And she's like, I don't know. I think he wants to bring me a birthday present or something. I'm like, that's not how this fucking works.
No.
Right. So I go to the door and I'm like, why are you here? What's going on?
Yeah.
Right. And he's like, because this is my wife. And I was like, I think we need to have a talk outside. So me and him step outside, and we step outside and have a conversation about things. And I'm like, she told me you guys are going through a divorce. And he's like, she told me you guys are just roommates. And I was like, well, we share a fucking bedroom.
Yeah. I mean, like, who would be married and like the girl's gonna move in with a dude roommate?
Right.
Anyhow.
And that's what she told everybody, was we were just roommates. And it's like, Aiden had her own room. My ex-wife and I had our room.
Yeah, red flags.
Right. And, we talked about it, and I was like, dude, she said she flew out to East Coast and told you guys are done.
Yeah.
I literally had to send her money because she ran out of money when she was there and couldn't get a taxi to the airport or something like that. And he's like, she missed a taxi because she was sucking my dick.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
what?
I was like, oh, I'm like, well, you know what? I was like, bro, I'm good. I'm like, you can have this. Like, I'm stepping out. I want nothing to do with this anymore. And he's like, oh no, this is your problem. Now I'm done with this. So I walked back in pissed off.
So why was he there? To drop off a present?
Yeah, to drop off a birthday present.
Or maybe to get the confirmation. He wanted to see himself.
He was dropping off a present.
Because mind you, he thought that, Branden was the roommate.
Yeah.
But he knows me too, and that's the thing. So I don't know.
Oh, weird.
Did you not see the red flags? Because after the second time or the third time she goes back to New York, I would be like, why the fuck, or not New York, East Coast.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you going back to the East Coast? Like, I thought you guys were done. Did you not see red flags?
100%. And that's the thing is like, she just always found a way to make it okay. Like I had like my high school sweetheart. And then when I met her, like I felt like it was true love. She was a smaller, petite girl. I could wrap my arms around her. I felt like a man when I would hold her. Like our sex life was better than I've ever had with anybody else. I felt like we just had that connection. Like she was able to suck me in so well and made me feel so fucking special. Like I was God's gift to earth. I mean, I was the most gorgeous guy she's ever been with. I was the best lover, best kisser, best everything.
Right. So what happens next? Because I think I've heard this story before.
Yes. So I walked back in from all this to tell her that I'm not done, or I'm done with this shit and I'm out. And I couldn't find her. I'm walking in the bedroom. She's not there. Bathroom door shut. Open it up. And she's bandaged up her wrists from cutting them. And her daughter's in the bathtub sitting there.
Didn't hear the story. This is a new one.
And so instead of being angry, it's instantly like, how can I help you? Like what the fuck? Like I've never dealt with something like this. I've always dealt with my mom as a victim. And this was like self-induced harm. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
I've never ever seen something like this. And so, I remember just being like, you're so fucking stupid. Like, why would you do this? Why would you do this? And she's like, it's fine. I do this all the time and it's not a big deal. These red flags are just like not a big deal. To jump back, I guess, like from my mom, like growing up with my mother always as the victim, never finding the right person, guys always cheating on her. Like, I mean, I'm the oldest, so I heard all this. And I just recently found out within this year and being sober that the reason why I am the way I am with these women and why I stay is because I just think I could fix you. I want to give you the happiness that my mother wanted. And so I will stay and stay and stay just so I can hopefully make you happy, which is like almost borderline narcissistic in itself.
Kind of like codependent, I feel like.
Very much codependent too. Yeah. But it's like I don't want to be codependent. Like I want to be able to do my own things. But it's like I don't know. I have this problem where I'll stay in a relationship 7, 8, 9, 10 years and I will not leave because I don't want to break someone's heart. Like I hate hurting people because I've seen like the pain my mom went through growing up my whole life. So I guess that's like the biggest thing is like I just don't like seeing people in pain. I don't, especially if something that I caused. So I'll stay in misery for years, which is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 would not recommend to anybody. I did for a long time.
No, I won't anymore.
Yeah.
Same. We've been there.
Yeah.
Not doing it again.
Done that.
So did things get worse with this girl?
Yeah.
Things went way worse. She ended up getting pregnant a few years later. That's my oldest daughter. I mean, we were poor. I was living on welfare, struggling to get by. I ended up getting in the union and that kind of, getting back in the union, I should say. And that kind of got us out a little bit. But I don't know, there was something in me, like I couldn't leave her at home because I couldn't trust her. So every time I'd be gone, like it was just weird. And so I found out how to like hustle from home and I would like build like motorcycles and shit like that and try to like create a little business. And then once I started tattooing, that's when our life changed dramatically. I mean, like we finally had money. And so that's when our life went up. Like we were doing awesome. I mean, I was constantly tattooing. I opened up a shop. I had all the things. And then we started getting our own house. We're buying it from my grandma. And then, this is over the course of 9 years, almost 10 years. And I mean, we had everything and it's just nothing was enough. It was always had to be the next best thing. It always had to be the BMW. It always had to be the bigger house. It always had to be the Coach purses. It was never like I grew up poor. So I'm like, didn't really give a shit. But she kind of introduced me into this lifestyle and like, she would be like, tell me who I am. And like, I have to dress a certain way because I'm an image to the community because my shop was so big. And so she just made me feel powerful with it. It wasn't like a negative thing. It was like, you need these $300 Hudson jeans. Like people are going to see you wearing these Hudson jeans and they're going to know that you have money. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'd wear them and people would be like, nice jeans. I'd be like, shit, she was right. These jeans are nice. But yeah, we had a great life for a while. We had another kid after that. There was a lot of, when I say great time, I mean great time because I was blinded to it. And, I was far from a perfect husband. I mean, I found avenues to talk to other women because I was miserable. which is terrible. You know, I wouldn't want to put that on another person. It's a conversation that me and her should have had in the beginning if I was having doubts or having needs. You know, the world was so different then than it is now, as just far as like being open in your relationship, talking about what you want, what you need. It wasn't like that then, especially not with her. It would have never been like that. It was always an argument. I was truly never really happy. There was moments of happiness in my life, but it was always only when we were like doing stuff that cost money. And if I'd take her shopping, I'd pay for a babysitter for a day and I'd just take her on a shopping spree. And we were just like the happiest couple in love.
Because she was happy, and because she's happy, you're happy.
Exactly.
Was she working?
She didn't work at all. Not at all, but she claims to help run my business.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I did fucked up shit. Definitely talking to other girls. And then...
Did you ever cheat on her?
I did.
Does she know?
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Did you get caught?
I did. And it's like, I did it to a way where I wanted to get caught. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
wow.
I wasn't sneaky about it in ways. It just, I'd come home every fucking day from work and it would be, oh, who'd you fuck today? What'd you do? Who are you with today? And she would literally like stalk my clients and look at them. And I guess like maybe I gave her the go ahead because I, you know, was talking to other women. So she felt the right to do that. But I'd come home and she'd be a bottle and a half wine deep. I'd walk through that fucking door and I'd be happy, you know, just had a good day at work, sunny out. I'd come in and she'd look at me and she'd be like, hey, honey, in the kitchen, warming up food that she cooked at 1 o'clock. And she'd be like, hey, honey, how was your day? And I'd be like, it was good, you know, and say hi to the kids. And she'd look at me and she'd like the perfect housewife. Come here, give me a kiss. And I'd give her a kiss. And then she'd be like, come here, do that again, do that again. And so I'd kiss her again. And she'd be like, who's that? Who is that?
Oh.
Yeah. And then it would just turn into a fucking fight all the time.
And she was right.
And she was right.
I mean, you said you wanted to get caught.
Well, between those times, like, yes and no.
You just didn't give a fuck.
I didn't because I got accused of it every fucking day. You know, every day I'm getting accused of it. And so it's like,
I might as well.
Fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna come home tomorrow and she's gonna ask me who I'm fucking. And to clarify really quickly, I did not fuck a bunch of girls. It was a lot of emotional fucking relationships.
Yeah.
Oh,
is what it was.
Well, when you would when you would come in the door and she would do that on like days that you wouldn't have done that, and like you're in a good mood, what would that do to you?
It would just make me feel like a piece of shit.
Would you guys start arguing?
Yeah, 100%. Or I would just blow it off and go out in the garage or something. Like, I try to defuse a lot of situations because she grew up a different way than I did. I grew up with my mom being abused and she grew up being abused. And so, you know, her way of dealing with, you know, a confrontation is gaslighting and fighting physically. And my way is protect and... Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like even with during those times, like I didn't really cheat at all during those times. It was like, and she didn't really catch me a lot of those times before she would do that. It was a constant thing, but that's what led me to say fuck it. And it wasn't like, and I didn't like talk to these girls to hook up with them. It was straight up like just a texting, and they're like, oh my god, you're so gorgeous, your wife's so lucky, and they would know. Like I wouldn't like lie about having a wife and kids, but I would just say, oh, my life's miserable, and give a sob story like we all fucking do when we're cheating. And it would just get to that point to where it's like, oh, we met up a couple times, but we didn't fuck. And like I don't know, sex is a weird fucking thing to me. Like I have to be intimate with that person. I can't just fuck. And so it would just get to that point and it escalate to where it would be like, okay, now we kissed. And it's like, they want more and they want more. And it's like almost like an obligation is how I felt, because as soon as we would fuck, and I'd be like, I fucking hate every moment of this. Like I feel like inside, like just a disgusting piece of shit, because I know it was, but
I feel like emotional cheating is way worse than
I think it's all relative.
Well, I just feel like if you're fucking someone, like you're just doing it to get your rocks off, cool. But like, let me find out that you went on 3 dates before you fucked them. Like, what the hell is this?
Well, what do you mean?
So
like
much more
you
worse.
fuck somebody, you're gonna have some sort of something towards them
Not
anyway.
all the time.
yeah, it's different for different
It
people.
is.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
different because I
Yeah.
could definitely like can be like peace, you know?
I could too, but like I feel like if you're, I don't know. I mean, because I can too. But if you're in a relationship and you're fucking, like it's an emotional thing for you at that point, anyways.
I think it's different because guys are different. They like disconnect.
Yeah, like
A lot of guys will self-disconnect where girls.
smash
Totally.
and like go, you know, and totally separate.
Sure.
But like I can't. Like that's the thing, is like I have to be emotionally invested,
Yeah.
or else like
Yeah, I have to.
yeah.
There's got to be some sort of connection.
And that's why, you know, and that I do think it's worse to emotionally cheat. I think it's way fucking worse than smashing, because you're that's more intimate than a fuck from a guy personally. For a guy to be open and talk about his personal life, that's intimate.
Yeah.
Versus us just giving you dick is like, that's just what
Yeah,
we're
that's
bred to
true.
do.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's second nature to us. But to open up and talk, I think that is super fucked
Yeah.
up.
So much deeper.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So I agree.
So how long were you guys together for?
About 9 years.
And what was like the final straw? Why'd you guys break up?
The final straw. Well, there was final straw was we were splitting up back and forth on and on, and it got to the point where we were talking about getting a divorce. And actually, to back up, we were doing really good. We went to the gym together. I was solely about her. I became clean about a lot of stuff. We both got super fit. Everything was great. And then my brother got caught cheating. And so she had went to my wife and was like, can you help me get over this? Like, how did you get over this? I want to forgive him as well. So like, can you give me some pointers? Well, that just re-triggered everything for our relationship. After doing good for so long, it just re-triggered everything. And it was, you know what? I actually never got over it. He's a fucking piece of shit. And then that's what triggered everything. So from that point on, you know, she wanted the bigger house. So we would get a bigger house. I mean, we moved like 3 times to a bigger house every fucking time until we had one of the biggest houses on the hill and gorgeous, living there. And it was just miserable. I mean, it was a fake fucking facade life. It was fake for me. It was fake for her. She wasn't happy. She didn't work. So she didn't want to leave me be financially fucked. And I didn't want to leave her and not have another man raise my kids. And so, things just started getting escalating worse. I mean, more physical, more violent. And
did the cops ever get called? Did you guys?
Yes. So the cops got called one night when she was shoving me and doing stuff. And then the neighbors had a camera. And I told her, I'm like, let's go inside. Just calm down. So we went inside. We grabbed the kids. We hid upstairs. The cops were knocking on our door, shining flashlights in the windows because they heard us screaming outside. So the neighbors called. So we dodged that. And then it was like on her oldest daughter's birthday, she wanted me to come to the birthday party because I'm dad. So she just wanted me to come. So we went and we were fine, you know, drinking, flirty. We both got hammered drunk and something set her off about me fucking her sister, which never fucking happened.
Oh, wow.
But something set her off and she went to leave, moved her car, smashed in the car in front of her, asked me to come drive. So I drove her home and we were driving home and she's yelling at me so fierce that's like I could feel the spit on my face, shoving my head into the glass. And it was just a nonstop thing. And then she kept jerking the fucking wheel on the freeway with 2 of our daughters in the back. And my biggest fault, I've never touched this woman ever, but the biggest reaction, the wheel kept jerking and I just headbutted sideways. Just a reaction. It's the only thing I ever fucking did. And I knew at that point right there, after all the hitting and everything from her, that moment right there, that was done. Gets me shooken up, but that was like the ending moment for us. I knew we weren't coming back from that. But prior to that, I mean, I pushed her back, you know, I've stopped her from leaving. I've done shit like that when we're arguing and shit, but I've never fucking physically hit this woman or done anything. So once that happened, I knew for a fucking fact that was it. So we get home that night and I mean, this escalates all the way home. I mean, I'd stop the car from swerving 3 lanes across traffic. Our 2 youngest in the back of the car. We get home and she's like, that's it. I'm going to fucking kill myself. I'm over this shit. So she grabs a razor blade. I grab this razor blade out of her hand. It cuts her hand. She's hitting me. I went to call one of her friends to have her come get her, but I called the wrong friend. So it was another one of our friends as well.
Oh no.
And she was like, you need to call the cops. And I'm like, you guys call the fucking cops. Cops show up, we're screaming at each other fucking loud, and the cops show up, they're banging on the door. I fucking put my hand on the door and I blocked them from coming in. I have no idea why. It was like
Branden.
a fight or fucking flight moment.
Oh no.
And stopped them from coming in. And they were bashing my door and screaming. And then one cop went around the backside, pulled a gun on me and told me to freeze. I opened that door. The other cop fell back and I was running down a set of stairs and he fucking tased me. And then as I fell, the taser fell out and I just took up and fucking ran as fast as I could. He never caught me.
Holy shit. That's so lucky.
Never caught you?
It took him fucking hours and I gave myself up. But I ran and then they literally had like 12 fucking sheriffs, 3 different city police officers. I mean, they were all searching for me. And I went back to my house and just stood there because I'm like, they're not going to look for me at my house. They're going to be looking for me everywhere else. And so the cops, I saw her give a statement. She's smiling the whole time with the cops, like not like it's a fucking joke. And I'm just looking at her, just shaking, thinking like, this cannot be my fucking life. And then so everybody goes to leave, and I look at her, and my windows were about up to my chin because they were floor to ceiling windows, and it was like a deck. And I'm looking, and she looks at me, and I'm like, let's just fucking stop. And she's like, what am I supposed to do? The neighbor girl walks in, and she's like, he's out back. And then they're like, Branden. And I fucking took off running again and ditched him again.
What the fuck? You're wild.
Yeah. And then finally I went to my mom's house and she's begging me to give myself up. So, and they're surrounding my fucking mom's house, sirens going, all that shit. So I give myself up, hands on the garage door. They got fucking dogs and shit. And they had guns drawn on me. Mom's screaming, crying. They're telling me just to get on the ground. I'm telling them to fuck off.
How old were you at this time?
I want to say 30-ish.
Okay.
And then next thing I know, I'm getting fucking bit by a canine, drugged to the ground, fucking latched on.
Ow.
Yeah, 5 or 6 cops come around, stepping on my head, pulling me back, arresting me.
So you were arrested?
Yep.
For what?
Yeah, what did you...
So,
because they were just showing up to your house, responding to a neighbor calling because of a domestic
exactly
situation, and then it escalated.
Yes. So the whole time, so they arrest me, cut my shirt off. They take me to the hospital to get sewed up from the dog bite. And the whole time they haven't read me, my rights for being arrested. They haven't told me why I'm being arrested. And I've been in trouble before. So I'm like doing the math. I'm like, cool. So we have a DV4, maybe DV3. We have eluding a police officer, maybe an assault charge if they want to fucking try to drag this in. I'm like, cool. This isn't going to be too crazy, but this is my first ever offense like this. So I don't have any other violent offense. So we should be good. And then so I get stitched up, get in the back of the cop car. And he's like, all right. He's like, I'm going to read your Miranda and let you know what you're being charged with. An assault 2, pretty much attempted murder. It was a kidnapping. It was withholding her phone so she couldn't call 911. It was DV3, DV4, assault to a police officer. I mean, they fucking racked this shit all the way up.
So what did you end up getting charged with?
So I had to bail out that time at $80,000.
What the
Yeah.
Wait, you had $80,000 just to bail yourself out?
No.
Oh, you
have to
got a bail
fucking
bond.
do
Okay.
it. Bail bond, 10%, all that shit.
Okay, yeah.
So I bail out and we have a no contact order.
Okay, so I feel like this is one of those episodes or times where our guest should be like a double
A two-parter.
dipper. Yeah.
A double dipper.
Yeah. I feel like you should come back.
We double dipping me.
Right.
I feel like you should come back next week and tell us the rest of your story, because
Yes.
there's just so much to it, and it just goes over a lot of things that we talk about during our resilient stories. And I think that you're just such a great guest. I want everybody else to hear more of your story. So
My fucked up story.
Yeah. And the bounce back,
Yes.
for sure. So
Sweet.
Branden, thank you so much for being here. And
Yeah, I guess we'll see you next week.
I'm not going to ask the question this week. We normally ask what resilience means to our guests, but I'm going to say that for next week.
Cool. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excied to come back next week.
Yay.
Are you on Instagram?
Yes.
Let's just,
Oh, yeah.
they might want to follow you and see what's up, Just
Come follow.
Where can we find you?
Branden.Grey, BRANDEN.Grey.
Yeah, it's with an
How do you
E.
spell gray? With an E?
GRAYE.
Okay.
At Branden with an E
'Cause you could-
underscore?
Yeah, underscore. Is it
Gray.
underscore or dot?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
You could spell gray both ways, right?
Yeah. I
Right,
think
yeah.
there's 4
There's
different ways.
GRAY
Who does
and GREY.
that? And it's the same
and
word.
GRAYE. R-A-Y-E.
English, it makes no fucking sense.
Right?
It doesn't.
Okay, we'll see you next week, Branden Grey with an E and E.
Thanks, Alex Fresh and BennettKnows.
Yes. Okay.
All right, so
So I have a conspiracy for you.
yes, Bennett came this week with a
Yes, I got
conspiracy
a
on who?
Have you ever heard of an industry plant? Have you ever heard of those?
Yes, of course.
It's basically an industry plant is someone who's put in the limelight or the music industry for one reason or another.
You know who was an industry plant recently in the podcast game?
Who?
Bobby Altoff.
Oh, you think so?
100%. She said it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We're definitely not industry plants.
That's our
We're the real
conspiracy.
deal.
Yeah, we are.
We are the real deal. No, but I want
Well, she blew up. That's why, because she got huge out of nowhere and she's not funny. So
Well,
sorry, Bobby.
This is one of the biggest industry plants. Did you know that Jennifer Lopez is one of the biggest industry plants
How?
of all time?
And why?
So J-Lo started her career on Living in Color. That was in 1993. She was one of the Fly Girls, so she was a backup dancer. Obviously, Jennifer Lopez is beautiful. And after doing Living in Color, she decided to pursue acting, and that's when she got the role of Selena, which made her a household name. She became one of the highest paid Latinas in Hollywood. She got a Golden Globe for it. And after that, she wanted to go into music, like a lot of celebrities do. At the time, Mariah Carey, she was signed to Sony, and she was also married to her manager and the owner of Sony, Tommy Mottola.
Okay.
If you don't know about that relationship, he literally controlled her. She wasn't allowed to leave her house.
Mariah?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is at the beginning of her career. She
Oh, I
wasn't-
remember. Yes.
Yes, he wasn't able to leave her house. Everything was controlled by him.
Yeah.
So after a while, she's like, fuck this. They got a divorce. Mariah, she contractually had to finish her albums or whatever. But at the time, Tommy's like, you're not leaving me and going to continue your career. He came across J-Lo and he said, you know what? I'm going to make J-Lo a bigger star than Mariah Carey. That's how J-Lo got her start in the industry. For example, you know the song I'm Real by Jennifer Lopez? That was Mariah Carey's song first.
Yeah, now that you're saying that, I feel like I've heard some things like this.
That was Mariah Carey's song first. And Tommy was like, nope, not going to happen.
That's fucked up.
My girl's going to do that. So that kept on happening to Mariah Carey with Tommy's hope that Mariah Carey would stop
Scary.
growing. Yeah.
Okay, so I can't help but say that I don't know if you guys saw any of the videos posted on social media over like the last week of J-Lo, but I feel like she's getting canceled.
People are sick of her.
They're telling like all these stories about interactions they've had with her and like how stuck up she is and how much of a bitch she is and how she's not nice.
Yeah, at all.
She's getting canceled right now.
She is, because she has that movie, The Greatest Love Story Never Told. Yeah, she had a hard time with it. It wasn't as critically acclaimed as people thought it was, as she thought it was, because people aren't really fucking with her.
I haven't really ever been like a big J-Lo fan, to be honest. It's a vibe.
I feel like J-Lo's from the East Coast, and I realized moving over here that people don't really listen to J-Lo as much.
Oh, we listened to J-Lo growing up. I definitely did. But, you know, she's from the Bronx.
Bronx.
And the Bronx doesn't even like J-Lo.
No, there's that video of her walking down the street, and she's like, I used to live in that house. And he's like, who are you?
My name is Jennifer.
Jennifer?
Yeah, I used to live and my room was upstairs right there. Jennifer Lopez.
Who's Jennifer Lopez?
Me. I used to live here.
Well, I was watching a video about it, like why they don't like her, and it's because she only goes back to make money on things, to promote things.
She's not really on the block.
She doesn't give back to the community. There's been multiple times where people have reached out to her from the Bronx asking her to fund certain things in the city, and she has said no. And it's minimal, right? And so she's only goes back there to make money and then doesn't give back. And so they actually don't like her there.
Yeah, no, I could imagine. If you go through her discography, like all her music, a lot of it isn't even her singing. You have people like Ashanti singing in the background.
Yeah.
Other artists singing in the background.
She is talented in certain areas.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Definitely
she had
not
some
singing.
hits, but she had some really big hits. You know, she made a lot of money on. So she was an industry plant by him.
And it actually worked because, I mean, it worked for some time, but now people are kind of over J-Lo.
I've been over J-Lo.
And like her music isn't hitting like it used to at all.
No, absolutely not.
You know, so.
Do you think she was good at acting? I
mean, if you got to play a bridesmaid 17 times, it's going to be easy after a while, okay? So
touche.
So yeah, back to the industry plant. J-Lo's like the industry plant that actually stuck around, and obviously it didn't work for Mariah, but that's why she's always throwing shade at Jennifer Lopez, because she always does that, like, I don't know her.
Oh shit.
Don't know nothing about her. Oh. Then they also asked her in another interview, they were like, well, J-Lo sleeps 8 hours a night. Mariah, how often do you sleep? And she was like, well, if I had the privilege of not singing my songs, I'd get a full night's rest too.
Oh shit. I love Mariah.
And she talks about it in her book, how Jennifer Lopez tried to end her career.
Wow.
So, yeah, if you didn't know, J-Lo is one of the biggest industry plants of all time. Who do you think is an industry plant today? There's
Justin Bieber.
You think so? Mm-hmm. Really? Mm-hmm. I thought he was pretty talented.
No, I think he is talented, but I think he's an industry plant for sure. Do you have to not be talented to be an industry plant?
No, not really.
Okay.
You know, there's another girl from the Bronx who I think
Cardi B.
Cardi B
for sure.
Definitely an industry plant to end Nicki's career.
She absolutely is. Crazy. It's crazy after I watched Nicki just like perform last weekend, because like I really love Nicki and I've been a fan of her for a long time. I also could not stand Cardi B at first. Like it took me a while to warm up to Cardi, and I don't know what it was. After a while, she changed my mind about her. I started liking Cardi. I fell in love with Cardi, and like I still will love Nicki more. But after watching Nicki perform, I could not help but notice how much Cardi has tried to look like Nicki. It blew my mind.
The surgery.
I mean,
their
ass, their face, like
everything,
their mannerisms, like
it's like the label told Cardi, like if we're gonna do this the right way, you need to look like the person you're gonna be.
Yes, which made me actually think, I wonder if that's why I started liking her.
Because everyone was so used to Nicki
Minaj. Yes, because before I didn't, and then all of a sudden I did, and like that doesn't normally work with me. Like that normally never happens. When I don't like someone on TV or whoever, I normally don't change my mind about them. So that tripped me out when I heard that.
Weird.
Yeah. So Cardi for sure is.
Who else? Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But damn, J-Lo. Bye.
Bye, J-Lo. The block don't even love you no more, girl.
Don't even talk about it. You should be embarrassed. All right, well, that's it for the conspiracy. Hit us up on Instagram at ResilientAF3. What do you think? Do you think J-Lo is an industry plant?
Do you think we're industry plants?
Because we're huge.
Right. So big, millions.
One day.
Views.
We're going to watch this one day when we're huge. We'll be like, oh my God, look at us.
We're industry plants.
All right, and that does that. So make sure to go follow us on all the platforms and YouTube, because we're doing it on YouTube at ResilientAF3. You can also follow us individually. I'm at That Dreas.
I'm at BennettKnows.
Cool.
There you go. Peace.
Bye.